One of you guys want to generate conversation? I feel like
Well,
my part.
I
You carried us
I
for an
had
hour
that
and 15. Thank you, PK. On to Chad.
that thing today where I went to go see those old people there.
Mm.
Um, I went to do an estimate for a geriatric couple, and they are like 1 foot in the grave. Like they are old.
Do they have
Oh,
Apple Watches?
uh, no, they had those old lady watches. They're like all gold.
They
The
don't.
really tiny thing.
But
I
it's
guarantee you, she couldn't read the time on that
but it
watch.
still has an electric. It still has an elastic band. It's
No,
all
well, this one
all
had a
gold.
little spindly gold one, but I think you could change the color of the faceplate on it. You know, you'd like unscrew them. Like so one day it'll go with her red blouse, and on the church day it'll go with her like white blouse or something like that. You
All
know.
right.
Um, so I show up at the house, and she goes, "Oh, my husband," and these are people are super French. She's like, "Oh, my husband wants to come and have a look at the job too, but it's in the backyard and he can't walk very well." She's like, "We'll take the car and drive." They lived on a corner lot. Drive from the garage to their other parking spot, which is around the back of the house. Like, okay, great. So I literally waited 15 minutes in the backyard while these people got in their car and drove around the corner.
Yes, you
I'm
must have
like,
done a hell of a job qualifying this lead.
yeah, I did. It was actually a referral from one of the trucking guys that we work with. And I'm sitting in the backyard or standing in the backyard waiting for her to get out and then for him to get out, and he can barely walk and he can't hear anything that I'm saying. And I don't know if it's because he's French that he doesn't understand or because he's too far away that he can't understand. So I'm like, I scoot up real close to him and I'm yelling, and I can't tell if they're like upset with me for yelling or if they understand like I'm only yelling because you couldn't hear me earlier. Um,
Or they don't speak English.
and well, he spoke okay English by the end of it. I think his English improved by the end of the
Probably
conversation,
because of your yelling.
maybe. But he kept asking, he's like, "What?" He's asking his wife, "What are we doing? What?" And she's like, "Oh, he's got to do this and that." And it was a grading job that really didn't need grading. Like, the woman was like, "They're not going to be able to mow the grass back here. It's too steep." And it was
How did they mow the grass last year?
He said it sunk over the winter. After 20 years of having the pool filled, it sunk. But like your average driveway is probably steeper than this grade, over 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet. Like it's definitely mowable the way it is. So I'm thinking, what do I do for these people? Do I take advantage of them? I mean, is it taking advantage if they want the work done? They're surely old enough to know. They've
So
been around.
I have an opinion on this.
Yeah.
So like maybe 15 years ago, I got a phone call um from this woman named Iris, and I went to see her, and she had been living in her house in Toronto for like 65 years or something. She was 90 years old. She's old. And she invited me in for tea, and I went into the house for tea, and nothing in that house had ever been changed. It had the countertops from the 40s, the rug from the 40s. The house is in beautiful condition, like clean, and you could tell there was a lot of pride. Anyways, so she asked me about tearing down the retaining wall because a lot of the properties in Toronto are elevated because when they dug the old basements, they just threw the dirt out front because they didn't have a way to get rid. Anyways, so there was a retaining wall, and she asked me. She felt the retaining wall was in horrible condition and that it was falling down and it needed to be repaired. In my opinion, the retaining wall looked fine. So then I had a quandary like Chad does. What do I do? The retaining wall is actually okay, but she really wants it replaced. And so I went home thinking about this problem that Chad currently has. And this was my conclusion on the problem. someone was going to replace that retaining wall.
Yeah.
And they were going to charge her an outrageous and stupid amount to do it because she would have paid anything to get the retaining wall changed. So I prepared a fair quote for the work as at a fair rate, at market rate for the neighborhood. And I presented her the quote and I did the job. And I did the job because it was work she absolutely believed needed to be done. And I felt like someone else, if the job, say the job was worth $15,000, I felt like someone was going to come in there and take advantage of this poor woman and charge her like $80,000 for the job. So that was my rationale. I did it for market rate at a fair price. I did exactly what we said we were going to do. I supplied exactly what I said we were going to supply. We did a great job, and she was ecstatic when we were done, and she gave everyone lemonade that she made herself from lemons. Actually, I don't know if that's true.
When
I didn't know
life
she
gives you
gave it.
lemons.
Lemons from the 40s.
Anyway, the moral of this story is, I feel like this woman would have got gutted and absolutely because she wanted to like pave her driveway and do all this other stuff. And I said to her, why don't we start with the retaining wall and then call me about the next thing? And she said, okay, I'll do that. And then we did the retaining wall, and then she never called me because maybe she died.
Yeah.
Or I don't know why, but at a bare minimum, I know that she didn't get taken advantage of on the retaining wall because I did it for absolute fair market value when I could have like probably quadrupled my price because I looked like her son. I'm just joking. She never said that. So here's the thing, Chad. Someone is going to regrade the yard that doesn't need to be regraded.
Yeah.
And
well
out of the
right?
well, are you going to do it for a fair price?
Yes, absolutely. Like, I'm not one to take advantage by any means. And the other thing is she wants me to hand deliver the quote and explain it to her and her husband personally. And I don't want to be responsible for a heart attack because they're of that age.
What kind of car were they driving?
A Lincoln. A new Lincoln, like a Nautilus or what? Not a.
I feel like then they're not. They are living in the realm of what things cost.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be right. Side note, I went to the same property 5 years ago. Thankfully, they didn't remember me. I declined doing their job. They wanted a planting job. I said, I can't do your planting job. Your brick looks like shit. Like, it was gone, and it hasn't changed since then.
Did anyone do the planting job?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone did. Or maybe they did, but they did a piss poor job, or they hadn't maintained it in 5 years.
Does the brick still look like shit?
The brick still looks like shit. Like,
and you're gonna do the regrading?
Well, the regrading is in and out, and I feel like they feel like there's value in the regrading.
And he's more desperate for work than he was 5 years ago.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
My worry with those things is that if it's like such an unnoticeable difference at the end of the job, are they going to say like, "What did you do?" Or this looks the same?
No, she wants sod on top of it, right? So like,
oh, I see.
There's a depression in the ground that we're gonna fix. We're gonna take it out. We're gonna make it look a lot different. But I have to do a big area to make it look like we did something, right? So I'm almost doing more than I need to do just so that it looks like we did something. So it's
Have you ever thought that maybe these people have a lot of money and no family and nothing to do with their money, and they just like having people around their house doing renovation projects that are pointless?
Potentially.
Just for the company and to give them something to talk about?
Well, yeah, I suppose. It's not like it's close to the house though. Like they won't unless they have a set of binoculars or they're gonna sit in the car.
But maybe they just need maybe they just need
watch us from the car.
Maybe they just need something to chatter about, something to do with their lives. And they have $10 million in the bank. And they're like, you know what? It would be fun to have a landscaper here to fix our grass because this depression is no good. And in their mind, they don't care about what it costs. They want to have someone to talk about. They want to have a project to talk about. When they go to play bridge, they can say, we hired this contractor. They're fixing their grass. They're doing a great job. Like, some people are doing renovation projects just to kill time.
I had one client like that.
Yeah.
I will gladly do the job. The only thing that I'm unsure about is that whenever the husband and wife were talking and he was going, "What? What?" I feel like he was asking her, like, "Why the fuck are we doing this? Like, we're 90, we don't need to be doing this." And she's like, "Yeah, Dad, tell him you're gonna do this and this and this and this." And I'm saying it, and he's like, "What? What?" And
Is
I
there
didn't.
potential that maybe he's not of his right mind?
It's potential. Yeah. So in that not right mind, did he decide I'm not signing the fucking check at the end of this? Like, I never wanted this to begin with. She did. And then how do you sue a 90-year-old couple?
Well, what if though, and this is just a crazy scenario, what if she wants the work and he doesn't want the work, and you get the work done and you go to collect the money and she died?
Oh.
And he's like, I never agreed. What?
What?
I never
What?
agreed to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
She agreed to this work and she's dead.
Yeah.
Get that work
Yeah.
done fast.
Get that work done fast. They start cutting sod in 2 weeks.
Throw everything you got at it.
Yeah.
They start cutting sod.
You have
I
another
like
3 weeks
how
of life left.
you could make a video about it and you were fairly confident that they don't follow the Landscape Daddy account.
I'm almost positive. I don't think they have cell phones. But you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Maybe they do.
Are you going to take the tilt rotator there?
I may. I might.
Your friends from Grib followed me.
They yeah. Maybe they're hooking you up.
No, I made fun of them. I was like, try again. Everyone else has.
Well, maybe they just haven't given you the right deal.
That's true. I don't have a tilt rotator, so free attachments does nothing for me.
Maybe they're going to give you a tilt rotator.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
They haven't followed me.
You need the machine to put it on first.
That's because you can't put a tilt rotator on your software. You just said you could outfit your company with machines, but you have this software. Hey, Mike, do you have the right lines for this grapple? No, man. I have this software. Do you have the right? Can we put this rock bucket on your machine? Well, no, I have this software. It doesn't matter what they ask you, you can respond, I have this software.
Yeah.
They seem like I started looking at is it pronounced Grib?
Yeah.
I started looking at the Grib account. The people seem nice.
Yeah.
They seem very people friendly.
Everybody I've spoken to there has been great.
They promote all they have like little pictures of all their people and stuff. It seemed like a nice account.
Nice. Yeah.
Maybe
I have no qualms about working with them.
Maybe I could be a grib guy, a gribber.
Yeah.
That's what you call a grib influencer.
What color are they? What color are they?
Well, that's the thing. I got to pitch them a hose color because everybody else has a hose color. Grib doesn't have a hose color.
Pink.
Pink? You think they're pink? Their tilt rotators are blue. But
are they?
Yeah.
What color is the one that's on your machine?
Blue and gray.
Are you going to tell them about how you talked about it on this podcast?
They're free to listen. I don't know if that's included in the deal. I don't have the paperwork for the deal. It hasn't been sent over yet. So,
maybe they're backing out because they started following me.
Well, I thought about that multiple times.
What?
And I wouldn't blame them. But
what are you talking about? You thought they? Oh my god! Why would they even know who I am?
I don't know.
Unless you told them.
They know about the podcast.
That was shooting yourself in the foot.
Well,
I'm just joking.
No, because I don't want to work with anybody who's going to ask me to do something that I'm not comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
And I think you feel
I
the
agree
same.
with that. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I can be transparent with everything that I do, then there's nothing to eat you up later.
So it's good thing that, well, they're not going to ask you to worship at the big green temple.
I highly doubt it. I don't think they have those kind of connections
Mm.
there. But we'll see. If you see me doing funny things that are out of character, then you know that carrot had a pretty big dollar sign on it.
Anything so out of character. If I'm doing a bunch of shit that, so I'll talk. I think I'm going to make this video. I hadn't decided whether or not to, but I think I'm going to make it. I want to make a video comparing the mammoth buggy we have to the Toro buggy we have. And one of the things I was going to do was have a race, right? Yeah, because obviously you want to see what's faster, who's faster, blah, blah, blah. They both have advantages and disadvantages, although I am partial to one with a seat. Although the other one does get my standing ring easier on my watch. This is how I buy equipment. Like, which one will help me achieve my goals on my watch? Uh, so I was joking around with Mo from Mammoth, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to do a race between the two buggies," and he was like, just make sure you put the throttle on the Toro at half." Now Mo was 100% joking about it, and but then it made me think, like, I'm gonna make this video, and I'm gonna shove the throttle on the Toro at half and say, I'm doing this for this race. Now you think about every other fucking person that promotes shit they're paid to promote on Instagram.
Oh, my
Because
goodness.
whatever they're saying to you has about as much value as this fucking race where I have the Toro fucking throttle at half.
That sounds like something an industry disruptor would do.
It doesn't sound like something that's going to make me friends.
No.
I've never been good
Well,
at making friends though, so I got to go to my friend's 50th birthday party.
That's big.
Yeah, we were friends in college and we were friends for quite a bit after college, and then he got really tired of me and stopped being friends with me. But then he was turning 50, and I guess he was like, maybe Mike's a better person now. So he invited me to his Kelly and I to his 50th birthday party, and we went to it. And then I haven't heard from him since. So maybe he concluded I'm still not a good person. I'm just joking. I think we both just had kids and lost touch.
Oh, I see.
But
yeah.
anyways, I was thinking about making that video. Do you guys think that video is funny if I did that?
I think it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Put the PK spin on it. That'd be good.
Do you think it's an industry disrupting video?
Could disrupt the industry.
A few people might get upset about that. I am interested in having a full throttle race, though. I forgot to put in the guy's schedule that they need to bring home the Toro buggy though, because it's on the job site.
One's a flip side video, and the other one's the Instagram video.
One's the flip side.
Yeah.
But only the people I invite get to see the flip. Like, that's what's so fucked up about it.
Oh, you have to invite people.
Yeah, flip side, only people that you directly invite to the page will follow. That's why I was saying that if I made a flip side that was actually a real Instagram page.
That's interesting. So you could start your own subscription off of Instagram and just invite people that subscribed to you off of Instagram to the flip side, and that would be like having a subscription. And then you wouldn't have to pay the dues that Instagram takes from you.
What's the dues that Instagram takes from you?
I think it's like 30%.
Wow.
Let me see.
Holy.
I had no idea that they take 30%.
They did that just because they need revenue right now. That's why subscriptions really took off recently.
Yeah. Well, I think that too, probably a lot of people feel like they've been creating a lot of content and giving it away for free. And so
Like
now they're,
us.
well, very much like us, yeah. Well, YouTube probably did things where you got paid until you met me. And then
No.
I've dragged you down into my circle of not, well, no, I feel like Chad actually did a lot of stuff like planting for free before he met me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mike, did you do a lot of stuff for free before you met me?
I wasn't paying attention to what you're just saying.
This is like when Mike starts talking about spreadsheets in my brain.
I'm doing some research. So it says, just to cut you off about what you're talking about, creators with an Instagram subscription receive 100% of the revenue purchased during an Instagram live. But there's no other, I can't find any other information. But Google and Apple deduct 30%. So that's just anytime you purchase something through your phone, Google or Apple take 30% of that. And then plus
Wow.
whatever Instagram takes on top of that as well. Which says is 0, but that's during a live. I don't know what it would be otherwise.
I'm interested in starting a subscription page and only having one of you join at $30 a month just to see what I actually get from it. And it's like $8. Well, because if it doesn't, maybe it tells you when you start it. I don't know. So originally, Mike, my idea with the flip side was to create a real flip side that's like actual videos of me, of us doing work and jobs we did and walkthroughs and stuff, and then only invite general contractors and landscape architects to the flip side, so that way they're not seeing me rate pickles, which could be a deterrent to us. Like, rating pickles could definitely be a deterrent, I think, to getting commercial landscaping work.
But nobody else is doing it. It might help you stand out.
Well, it hasn't helped me get any work currently,
okay.
But you never know.
Maybe a few more years.
Our video, Kelly and Ricky's video of what they brought for lunch is up to 149,000 views.
Wow.
So that was pretty good. Apparently people care about what landscapers bring for lunch. But I don't know how much they care about it. So are you going to do the job for the old people?
If the price is right, I'll do anything.
Are you going to... Go ahead, Mike.
Did you ever get that dog urine?
I haven't talked to her.
Okay.
I'll be happy if I never speak to that lady again in my life.
Got it.
I'd rather sit at home than shovel dog piss off retaining wall.
I have a story of gross incompetence today, of my own. So I got to the yard. There's a big rigmarole with these skids because the S70 couldn't lift them, so they were still in the bin. So I picked up the bin with one of the bin trucks and I drove them to Peterborough, and then I drove back from Peterborough, and then I was going to be late for a meeting that I had for about a residential job. So I jumped in the Veloster and I took off to the residential job. And when I got to the residential job, I went to get out of the Veloster and I realized that I didn't have a book or a pen or a tape measure. I had nothing but my cell phone.
Oh.
So I rang the doorbell and a woman answered, and I said, I'm here. This is the level of qualifying that I'm doing now. And I said, hi. And she said, hi. I said, I'm Mike. She said, yep. I said, I'm here to measure your landscaping. She said, great. What do you need me for? I said, well, what do you want me to do? She's like, the landscaping. Okay. But like where? Like how?
What?
Like she's like, well, we need the landscaping done. I said, okay. She said, they had like this small circular walkway and this She says, I want you to replace these bricks and make them so they're not all sunk. I said, okay, well, I got to get rid of these bricks, dig it out, do a proper base, put new bricks down. I said, do you want to keep this weird half moon garden against the wall? That's my garden. I love it. I want to keep it. I said, okay. She said, well, I want you to rebuild it with the same blocks. I was like, perfect. That's what I'm fucking looking to do. And then she said, and I want you to give me a price for interlocking the driveway. And so we're going to interlock the driveway, but we're going to save 30 fucking weird garden wall stones. This is a job for me. This seems like this is. Anyways, I had no tape measure or any way to write anything down. So I started pretending that I had an app on my phone that measures while you walk. Because I didn't want to like look gross. I was like, hold on, I just gotta open up this app. And I was like, please don't ask me what app it is. Like I thought, how deep am I gonna go into this lie? You know, I thought if she asks me what app is it, I'm gonna say it's called MeasureX. And then she starts looking it up or something. I can't find it. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. It's on my phone. So I wander around with my phone extended, like pretending that I'm measuring things. Meanwhile, I'm counting my paces because I know that my pace is about a meter. So I'm like 3 feet, 6 feet, 8, 9 feet. But she's trying to yap at me, and I'm like, listen, this isn't actually in my phone, lady. Just filming this here, hoping that it looks.
That's awesome.
I'm pacing it off. It's not really in my phone, but she's come trying to talk to me. Anyway, so at the end, I had no actual measurements. And but the woman wouldn't go inside, so I could do like another pacing. Anyways, I wrote some notes, and I just guessed.
It would be best if she asked you at the end, "Can I see what it did?" You just show her like a
Can you show me that? PK, you can go on Google Earth and get all the measurements from her house. You'll be fine.
This was. I was like, I don't think I've ever behaved or looked more unprofessional in my life. Like at a quote. And I'm 35 years in on this bitch. I'm like, what am I doing here? My God, no wonder no one's hiring us for residential work. I am grossly incompetent at this. And on top of it, I mean, showing up in a Veloster to begin with is probably questionable. Like, I think it's a little bit questionable. Like, people, I don't think it is, but people do. But then you show up in a Veloster and you have no book, no tape measure, no business cards, nothing. You're like, yeah, I'm totally legit. Like, I'm totally legit. And then they look me up, and my most viewed video is my wife and some guy that works for us talking about eating cigarettes for lunch. Like, I wonder why our business isn't doing well.
Oh
man.
Anyway, that's what happened to me. That's what I did today. And then I left there, and then I went back to the yard, and then I went to the underground parking garage. So, anyways, that's my story of gross incompetence today. I'm sure I will double it tomorrow in some other way. Do you want to finish with a question, Mike?
We got questions to finish off with. Are you guys ready?
yeah.
I'm ready. Yeah. Don't ask me how to quote a job.
Angelina's Land Management. How do you keep track of guys' hours to make sure it's accurate to what they say? Do you use a software?
Did you make this question up?
I did not. No, I chose it specifically because we're talking about software.
So we use an app called Connect Team, and everyone's on the app. And then I fill out everyone's schedule. And when they get to the yard in the morning, they hit on, and when they're done, they hit off at the day. Except for one person who just can't seem to get used to the app. Who is also the person that begged for 2 years to get an app.
Ooh.
She is. It's not Cody, it's Christy, but she is just. I remember one time she came to me and she said, and if she heard this, she won't care. She's like, I need more money. I have to work every Saturday. I said, cool, I can find Saturday work, no problem. So I called her the next day. I said, I got work on Saturday. I can't work this Saturday. Okay, cool. So the next week I called her. Hey, I got work on Saturday. Oh, I can't work this. What are you, crazy? Okay.
Aw.
Called her the third Saturday. I got some work on Saturday. She's like, I can't. Well, why would I want to work on Saturday? I'm like, you're the one that came to me. What the fuck are you talking about? Welcome to the world of having a team.
Yeah.
So we use that app, which is, I'll tell you what it's called because I actually really like it, and it's a really good app. And everyone but Christy seems to be able to operate it. It's called Connect Team, and it works amazing. It's a great app, and that they don't pay me anything, so I'm not half throttling this bitch.
And it's free, right?
You know what I'm gonna say? Anytime that anyone that listens to this podcast sees an influencer doing something, a landscape influencer that probably is questionable, I want them to comment on it and say, half throttling this bitch at Paver King. So I can say, that's great. So if you see someone promoting some shit that's probably potentially partially bullshit or something, just put on it, half throttling this bitch at Paver King. And that's so off topic for this dude. So we use that app and it works fucking great for time. And then all of it goes back to Kelly, and then Kelly can do everyone's time card. Previous to this, we used to fill out time cards and then we would try to collect them all every week. And that was a big fucking pain in the ass. How do you do it, Mike? Oh, wait, it's only you.
It's plus part-time guys.
I'm just joking. I'm just giving you a hard time because we're supposed to be fighting. How do you keep track of the hours that you work, Mike?
I use my software now that the time tracking is all up and ready to go.
Really? Do I have access to that?
You have 100% access to it.
Ooh, maybe I don't need the Team Connect app.
You're paying big bucks for it, so might as well use it.
Does your software do scheduling too?
It does. It's very rudimentary right now. We're going to revisit it. And
you should use the Team Connect software as scheduling.
Q3.
It works great. It's sick. You should make yours do that. Just copy it. That's what fucking Microsoft did to Apple.
Did you guys see Google's AI photo generator in the story with that? If you ask it to make a picture make a picture of George Washington, he comes out black. Same with like all because the woke engineers made it so that race wasn't a thing. Why can't George Washington be black?
That's true.
Yeah.
How do you know he wasn't black? Was there photographs back then?
Pictures, drawings.
You could still draw someone. You
can still draw their skin tone for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm the least woke person on the planet, so. Well, maybe not on the planet. I'm not woke, whatever that is. You know what was cool about hanging around with a bunch of 50-year-old people? They're not woke people at all. And when I said things in that group, like, I fucking hate electric cars. They're stupid. And I have no rationale for it, but I just fucking hate them. They were like, yeah, I hate electric cars too. And I was like, these are my people.
PK's being raised as the king in this party.
There's that guy that hates electric cars. Fuck yeah. Do you guys like them?
I don't have anything against them. I don't know. I haven't put much thought into them.
Would you buy an electric a Ford F-150 Lightning?
No, I wouldn't. I did put a down payment on not a down payment, but whenever that like $150 thing came for the Cybertruck, I did do that.
Would you buy a Cybertruck?
No, not right now.
They seem to be junk.
Well, I mean, even if you wanted to use it as a work truck, like Tesla, if something happens to it, you're not getting it back for who knows how long. I know a guy that had a Tesla that it got into a minor fender bender and he didn't get it back for more than a year. So imagine spending your money on like classifying it as a work truck and then you get in a minor fender bender and you don't get it back for a year. Like it doesn't make sense.
Would you have an electric vehicle, Chad?
No, no, not a chance. Well, I mean, I say that maybe, but I don't think I would. Not now, anyway.
I would rather
Give it some time.
shovel coal into a locomotive than drive an electric vehicle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would rather ride a horse, and I fucking hate horses. I have an irrational hatred of horses as well as electric cars.
Why do you have an irrational hatred of horses?
They're too smart for their own good or something. I don't know.
Have
They
you
just
ridden on
always-
one?
They always seem like they're up to something. They just seem like when I was a young kid, I went horseback riding and the horse threw me off, which could be the reason why I don't. And then I've never been on another horse. I don't even like going near them. They're up to something, man. You can tell just by looking at them. Next time you're near a horse, just look at it. And immediately you'll be like, you know what? Paper King's right. That horse is up to something. Now I'm going to get a bunch of horse loving people telling me I'm a fucking asshole. How do you track people's hours when you're not hating horses, Chet?
I don't. I let them.
That sounds like Chad. I
Yeah,
don't track their hours.
I don't track their hours. If I feel like they're scamming me so much that it's going to be an issue, they're not people I need on my team, and they'll be terminated. There's like, do I think it happens? It probably takes me for a couple hours a month between all of them. But if they're willing to risk their job for it, then they either don't value their time at the company or their place at the company, or they're really hurting and they need it. And they're walking that tightrope because that's
How many people have you terminated for falsifying hours?
none so far because I don't feel like I've had to. They've weaseled their way out in other ways, I guess. They're not good workers, right? If they're gonna, it's not only that they would lie about their hours, they're also shitty at other stuff. Like they're shitty workers, or they don't come in when they're supposed to, or they're late, or they're like.
Okay, but how do your guys? How do your guys like? So, I mean, I've never checked the people that work for us hours either. Like, I don't. I'm in agreement with you on that. If you're gonna steal hours from me, then I'll like. I don't. I don't. I've never looked at someone's hours. I've never like. And maybe that's the reason we switched to the app was purely for the convenience of Kelly doing payroll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, how does payroll like? And I understand Mike can do payroll from his software. Like, how do you get the hours in for payroll?
All our guys text their hours to Connie for the week before, and she deals with it. If there's any huge discrepancy, she'll flag it. She'll be like, why these guys were supposed to be working together all week? Why did one have 5 more hours than the other? Something like that, right? And I'll explain it, or well, I've been able to explain most of it away. So she's got her ear to the ground on that. So takes one good office staff.
What's the deadline when they forget to text their hours? Don't tell me it never happens.
She says it's Tuesday, of the following week for your hours, but she's paid the guys right up until like Thursday or Friday or whatever. But she tells them too. She's like, if this happens again, you're not getting paid for the week. But
Has she
she
ever
always
not
does it.
paid
She's
someone?
got a big heart. No.
Yeah. That was what was happening with us. Was it was like this painful collection of the hours.
Yeah.
But the app, everyone seems to. Mike, does everyone use your time tracking?
I would say a handful of users do right now.
No, I'm talking about you at your company.
I do it for everybody that's on site. So if you're an admin, you get to see everybody that's on site, and you can clock them in and out.
Oh, so they can't clock themselves?
They can if they have a user account, but it just doesn't make sense for me to do that for a part-time employee. So I just take care of it. Yeah.
All right. That makes sense. That was a good question.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Good
the next
question?
What's
One more
the next
question.
What's the next software-based question, Mike?
How do you keep organized with jobs to be estimated, jobs to be scheduled, jobs to be invoiced? Do you use the software for that?
Well, you didn't tell us who
That's
asked
the same
that
person.
question.
It's the same person.
Oh, what and who is that?
That is Angelina's Land Management.
Sorry, that's the account you made up so you could talk about software?
That's my burner account.
I have a whiteboard. I'm looking at it right now, which no one can tell on the podcast, but I'm looking at the board. I have a big whiteboard, and I have 2024 closed, and then I have 2024 bidding, and then I have 2024 follow up, and then I have a list of everything that I have the list of work that we're closed on. I have the work of lists that we're bidding. That reminds me to bid stuff that I've forgotten about or not done. And then I have a list of jobs that I've bid and haven't heard back, and I follow up. You want to hear the worst thing ever? Well, it's not actually the worst thing ever. It's not actually that bad, but it's a weird story. So I have an uncle that I would say I've seen less than once a year in my life. So I've had less than 50 interactions with him. He seems like a good guy. He asked me to price some excavating work and wall demo work in the city. And I priced it. And then he ghosted me. Like, you're my fucking uncle. Like, if you didn't get the job, just message me like, bro, you're too high. You didn't get the job. But then I thought, realistically, all in, maximum of 100 interactions. So am I that surprised that I got ghosted by my own family when I was bidding a job? But then also, my brother hired some other landscaper.
Oh, yeah.
So that happened. We did. Like, so I guess, is it that shocking that my uncle would ghost me? Are you like have a soundboard now? What do you like to give her the Kid Contractor podcast here? They're busting out a soundboard. Can we get a sound? What do you need to do to get a soundboard? Can we get
I don't know
one?
if we can do a soundboard on Zoom. I guess like I could share a screen and have a virtual soundboard. But no, they use one of those actual soundboards, the physical ones. And we don't do that with our Zoom setup here.
Really? Why don't we do it with our?
You can't. You'd have to have a virtual. You'd have to have a website that has a bunch of soundboards. I used to do that as a kid. You'd prank phone call somebody. You'd prank phone call somebody, and you'd use like an Arnold Schwarzenegger soundboard.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh shit, that didn't work. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah, this might be the end of our 2 hours here. we're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
We're not. We're answering questions. It's not getting the sound horn thing. Whatever. Fuck it. Okay, I'm off this. Sorry, Chad, how do you keep track of the jobs?
The exact same way that you do. DK, I got a board up here that no one can see. It's got commercial jobs coming up. It's got residential jobs coming up. It's got a space for RFQs that still need to be filled out. And nothing gets erased from the board until it's completed. So I have this system where whenever a commercial job is done, I cannot erase it from my whiteboard until it's fully invoiced to the client.
How do you track progress payment?
Um,
Like the percentage billed? Like how do you do that?
I'm pretty good at doing that in my own head.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's copies of it on our invoicing software, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole thing doesn't get wiped off the board until every penny has been invoiced.
So Mike, do
Accounted
you
for.
use Synced Up for tracking?
Upsynced?
Up Synced?
No, I use MNL.
You're worshiping at the Temple of Green? Tell me more about spreading mulch this 2 minutes, please. Tell me more.
I think this is our 2 hours, guys. this has been rough.
I don't think it's been that bad.
We're gonna ruffle a few
We've
feathers.
had worse showings than this.
This was about it. I thought this was pretty good. I thought it was funny.
I think it was a good one.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I don't think hey, any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me more about job costing. Tell me more. Tell me more about how if I get caught at a traffic light, I'm going broke. All right. That's the end of the fucking episode.